Hey Aries, welcome back to Owlchemist Tarot, serving tarot straight up. So this is your August monthly reading. And if you're new to my channel, thank you so much. Please subscribe so you know when new videos go live. And if you're a return subby, thank you for the likes, the comments, all the support that you give me in this channel. I really do appreciate it. So I'm going to be pulling one oracle card from the Soul Journey lesson card deck, the oracle deck. And then energy around what's going on with your money, career, love, communications, things you need to be kind of aware of for this upcoming month, and then a card for each week of August, okay? And a lot of energy moving around, shifting around, so, and now that we're finally in Leo season, Aries, you guys are in, a fellow fire sign, and you really will pick up on a lot of that Leo energy. So let's see what's going on with Aries for August. I shuffled quite a bit offline, but I do like to shuffle a little bit on camera. Aries, what's going on with Aries? Aries. For August, Aries. Acceptance. This is the overall energy for the month. So acceptance, it says, I'm learning to accept the things that I cannot change. Aries, wow. This is a big one for you because Aries, you guys are the babies of the zodiac, and I mean that as in you're feisty, you're driven, you're very focused, and you have a lot of energy. And especially when something is something that you want, you will accomplish it. It's not even a question. But sometimes there are things that are out of your control. And there's a lot of variables in life that you just literally have no ability to manage, control, have any sway or power over the situation. And this month, you may have to really understand that at the end of the day, you have power over yourself, your reaction, what you say, how you feel, and that is probably about it. You can't force anyone to think or do the way that you want. So let's see what's going on overall. So we got acceptance. Again, I've shuffled offline pretty extensively, but I'll shuffle a little bit more for Aries. Whew. All I know is that I think everybody is bracing themselves for more heat, the heat wave, because August does not play. I don't care where you are. All right, let's see what's going on with Aries. One more shuffle. Aries for August. Aries. What does Aries need to know? And by the way, this is for your sun, moon, or rising. So if you have Aries in those placements, this could resonate, okay? So let's go ahead. Okay, whoops. Interesting. So for the bottom of the deck, we got Two of Cups for the kind of overall energy of the month. Two of Cups certainly can mean a very strong partnership. It doesn't always have to be romantic, but it can sway toward that. Aries, this is sometimes coming to the realization that everything is working out for you ultimately. And sometimes you have to accept who you are and where you are in order for that right person to come in and align to come in your life. Now, this can mean for business partnerships. This can mean for the right friends and support groups and, the right colleagues who are there to help you and kind of push you, and even romantic partners. It's really about aligning to things, and it's not trying to force or change or move things quicker. It's just allowing things to be. And Aries, that's a really hard thing for you to do, is just to be present, because you're very on the go, always moving and wanting things to move just as quickly as you, but that's just not how the world works. So this is one of those moments where you to center and ground yourself, obviously, but it's also to focus on yourself, working on yourself. When you are at a high vibration, then you're going to align to the partner that is at a high vibration. Aries, this is also another consideration for this month, to take a look at the people who are closest to you. How do you feel? How do they make you feel? How is the relationship? Is the dynamic great? Is it kind of tailed off? I think you need to start to look at the people closest to you and see, how that impacts you in your life, all right? So, in your money zone, and I know you can't see all the cards, but I will show you, I promise. You got Temperance. So, again, another fellow fire sign energy with Sagittarius here with Temperance. In the money zone, Temperance is number one, it is talking about a little bit more of awareness, awakening, becoming more aware of what's going on in your financial zone, in your sector. This can certainly mean that for some of you, you might be spending a little money on, it could be, you know, health and wellness, like exercise equipment, which does not surprise me with Aries because you guys do like to work out. It helps you kind of like not want to just like ram through a wall. Exercise kind of helps you kind of clear out that any like frustration that might arise. For some of you, you can be putting a little bit more money or attention into yourself, like your look, your wardrobe, hairstyle, maybe getting, you know, again, more makeup, whatever the case is, something that makes you feel good. You might be investing kind of in that way with yourself. For some of you, this can be a medical like procedure. Certainly could be cosmetic. The Empress isn't here, but it could lean to cosmetic. Just give me 1 second. Sorry, it's so dry in Colorado and I get cotton mouth so easy. But one thing this is also kind of just giving you a heads up is not to necessarily overspend. It is about balancing the finances. So it's great to spend money on yourself and to take care of yourself and to treat yourself 100%. But it's also not to fill a void either, okay? So this is about balancing kind of things out. But again, if you want to treat yourself and this is kind of a nice month to do it, you worked really hard, go for it. And with the, you know, Temperance card, it is all about kind of like looking after yourself and your mental health and your well-being, your physical well-being. With your career, looks fabulous. Okay, you got the Four of Wands. Four of Wands it usually does talk about kind of like this committed type of relationship. For some of you, you are taking a very committed approach to your career or the job that you're at. It can be because of the people. It can be because of like your tribe. You know what I mean? Like your vibe attracts your tribe. And Aries, you have a way. It's like you're like have this gravitational pull, almost a magnet. So many people are drawn to you because you're, you know, spontaneous and you're funny and you have a lot of confidence and you just have this kind of like no BS attitude, and you will part the seas for people you care about, right? So for some of you, career-wise, you're really landing in a very solid place. If you're looking for a job, that certainly means like the one that comes up or the one that you apply for, and especially if you're nudged to go for it, like do. But you could have a really firm place there, meaning that you feel very confident, you feel respected, you feel like, you know, you are of value, that you're really brought into possibly leadership positions where you feel like there's a way to like make change for the good, the positive. So career looks really good for Four of Wands. And again, this is fire energy. So it's like you have a little bit more, I feel like, autonomy to make some decisions. Aries loves that. Aries does not like to be, no one likes to be micromanaged, but Aries is like, I will literally fight against anyone who tries to tell me what to do or how to do it, because you know, and like you get it and you'll run with it. You just need your marching orders, right? So I feel like you have more autonomy in this place of work. And if you are an entrepreneur, soulpreneur, this can be that you are really finally feeling at peace and at ease because you have like full control and power and really the ability to make changes any which way you feel are necessary because it's yours, right? So awesome. For love, romance, relationships, you got Five of Pentacles. So not necessarily like the most exciting energy, but look, you have a lot going on with money, a lot going on with career, looking really up and positive. You know, I think this month more, it's like you're kind of putting more energy back into yourself and things that you have a little bit more control over. Kind of this acceptance card, you know, where you're just like, look, I can't control, you know, somebody that I date or the dating game, like the ghosting and all that stuff. Like you can't control any of that shit. So I think for a lot of you, romance and relationships are not maybe on the forefront of your mind, especially if you're single. For some of you, you can be kind of, you know, having this remembrance or reminiscing about some things that have happened in the past where you're just like, you know what, I may not be ready. Like I'm not like fully, I don't feel that I could throw myself into a relationship and really like give it 100% right now. And that's okay. That's actually being very responsible in my opinion. Aries, this can certainly mean that you might meet you might be around people in a group of people. It could be work related that they're interesting, and it's a group of people you might be interested in, but it's also like you feel like you're a little bit out. I don't want to say not out of your league, but it's almost like you're not in the inner circle. You're kind of on the outskirts. So for some of you, it can be kind of like the outside looking in to certain dynamics in a certain group of people. And some of it may be romantic or platonic, but it's almost like you're like, I just don't know. So it's like when somebody invites you to a place and you're like, oh, you know, so-and-so might be there. I think you guys will really hit it off. And you kind of like listen or kind of observe from, you know, an outside perspective. You're like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to gel with this person. It's kind of something like that. So it's okay for singles. Like, don't worry about it. Do you put the focus back in you? If you guys are coupled, married, together with a partner, spouse, for some of you, this can be kind of looking at the financial situation within the home. You know, there could have been some big expenses that have come up. You know, for some of you, like I said, it could have been a surgery or something that you've really had to kind of like focus on. And even though that this is not necessarily like, when the temperance comes up, when it comes to like, it's more of like personal decision to have a surgery, like a cosmetic or, you know, dental or something like that. It's not necessarily like this life-threatening thing, but it could be a little bit more expensive than you think, or there could be unexpected expenses that have come up in the home. And as a couple, you're like, oh God, we got to get our bearings. We got to figure this shit out as a unit. Because, or another situation is that, Aries, you are always willing to be very generous with what you bring home. Like, Aries are very generous, especially the people that they care about. They will pay for a lot of things. They like to do that by like doing acts of service or paying for things. The thing is that your partner, Aries, might be, I don't want to say you feel like they're getting taken advantage of something, but they could be not pulling their weight financially, and there's a lot more stress on your shoulders, and you're starting to kind of feel like there's a little bit of a divide or a coldness between you and your partner. So if that's the case, talk it out. You know, don't assume and don't let things fester, because Aries, your notorious temper can really level out cities. Okay, so how about you have an open, candid, calm, keyword calm conversation. Okay, so communication, interesting. You know, this kind of goes back into some of the theme acceptance here, Aries. We got Four of Pentacles for communication. I'm a communication person, so I always want to say comms, and I'm like, I don't think people are going to know what I'm saying. So Four of Pentacles can be a little bit more of a reserved approach. You can see that this like king is kind of keeping things, his pentacles, his opinions, his, you know, things that he can touch, feel, and see kind of close to his chest. Not really being very open, not just giving his information or things freely, okay? So, and sometimes these are thoughts. It's like, even though these are not swords, it's almost like my opinions and my ideas can be worth their weight in gold. At least Aries will think that. So they're keeping things to their chest. I will say this week, just FYI, that not this week, this month. I apologize. I do feel like, Aries, you don't want to let your temper get the best of you. Like, I do really feel like there are going to be things that you cannot change. You cannot control people, how they act, how they think, how they approach things. So if you feel like if you're going to say something and it's just going to ruffle feathers or it's not going to add value to a conversation, what I'm going to tell you is that accept that there's just some certain things you can't change. And there's nothing wrong with keeping some of your opinions to yourself, especially if you don't feel like your tone, if you can control your tone. Just because you can say something doesn't mean you should, and a lot of people don't realize that. This month, I would say use really strong discernment, okay? Because what you do say, if you do choose to participate or add value to a conversation, I do think it's going to have a lot of weight. But if you frivolous just get your opinion because you're irritated or frustrated, then people are going to not know how to take it, or they might just stop listening because they're like, oh, Aries is pissed. So just kind of use some discernment, watch your tone, and if you don't have to add value, you don't have to add to the conversation if you don't think it's going to add, you know, any significant value or add a solution, okay? Okay, enough rambling, let's get into the week. Sorry, I'm getting phone calls, so I'm getting distracted. That's my bad. So first week, we have the Nine of Swords. You know, right under the Temperance card. The Nine of Swords can certainly feel like there is, you know, disruption, there's stress, there's some anxiety, overthinking, quite a bit of overthinking. This first week, I think that for many of you, you're kind of going back and forth if you're going to make a somewhat of a bigger expense on yourself. But here's the thing though, it's either you're going to do it or you're not. Are you doing it for the right reasons? And the Nine of Swords too is kind of like this, thinking of every single scenario. What if I do this? What if I do this? What happens if this happens? It's like you can't overthink a situation. If you are going to choose to put more balance in your life and you really want to treat yourself and you feel like you deserve something, then do it. But if you are going to be grief or guilt stricken after you do something, then it's probably maybe a good opportunity to wait, okay? Second week, we got Two of Swords right under the Four of Wands. So again, Aries, a little bit in your head, you know, these first couple weeks. And what I'm going to tell you is that with the Two of Swords, this is mental entrapment. So even though there's a little bit of a progression, like a 9 is almost at an ending and a 2 is kind of at the beginning of something. I do feel like, especially career-wise, like this is just the time, and especially under the Four of Wands, just go with it. Learn as you go, Aries. Understand that you're going to make mistakes and you can bounce back from them. You probably do that better than anyone in the zodiac, truly. This is also looking at a situation for what it is, not what you want it to be. Taking the blindfold off, seeing what's going on. Sorry, I'm getting, people are texting and calling me like this entire video. But this is no room for assumption, okay? So if you want to create a better environment for yourself, if that's professionally or personally, take the blindfold off and see, where do I need to actually work on myself? What do I need to accept that what it is I can't control and I just need to let that go? And what are things that I need to freaking work on and that I'm responsible for? So this Two of Swords, like this is about you making a decision and also not assuming anything. Third week, we got the Knight of Wands right under that Five of Pentacles. You know, it's interesting because I do feel like for some of you, you're going to pull yourself out of it. I think the Five of Pentacles energy is just like things that have happened more to you in the recent or distant past. It's disappointment. And sometimes when we're trying to like enter into something new or kind of get the courage to move forward, it is a little nerve-wracking because we're like, oh shit, I got burned last time. I really don't want to, you know, go through that path again. I don't want to, you know, step in the wrong direction and just go through again the same lesson over and over again. But the Knight of Wands, to me, after you start making some decisions, especially around in your money and in your career, you are going to be able to have the confidence just to bulldoze forward. Excuse me. The Knight of Wands is fire energy, so this is you not only assertively but confidently rushing in. And I do feel like this is kind of in a way setting the tone. And this is actually great because this month Jupiter retrogrades back into Aquarius, right? Jupiter is the gift giver. So what you start now and what the energy you put out there and the actions you put behind something is going to set the tone. So even though the beginning of this month you kind of start with this Nine of Swords, which is a little bit mental entrapment, anxiety, stress, you start to make decisions. You start to say, look, this is the path I'm going on. F it. Here we go. Let's see how it happens. Let it unfold how it's going to. Accept what you can and let the chips fall where they may. You end on the Fool card. So you end really strong, Aries, per usual. Aries, you guys are so resilient. I do not doubt yourself, ever. You have the Fool card, brand new beginning. And you know what? Yeah, you may not know exactly what's going to happen and you might be going into a different direction that's a little uncomfortable. You are the freaking ram, okay? You're not scared of shit. The ram has a presence, it has power, and it will bulldoze through a wall. You guys make and clear the pathway for you. So this is really what the Fool is like you're clearing and making your own path. You don't have to wait for anyone to do it. You don't have to give in the green light. You do it, okay? Aries, oh, I love this energy for you. You guys are going to kill it this month. I don't mean literally. But you really do end the month strong, which is really great. Please subscribe if you haven't already. You know, follow me on TikTok and Instagram because I post there quite a bit. And I cannot wait to talk to you guys soon. Bye.